So we are only a few months away from the worldwide release of Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 2, and many fans have speculated about how well the film could do when it releases in theatres this March. If you remember, the original film was released in quite an unfortunate climate as the effect of the COVID pandemic on movie theatres had resulted in Warner Brothers putting all of their yearly film slate on HBO Max at the same time they hit theatres. That particular decision caused a lot of backlash, and many filmmakers, including that of Denis Villeneuve and Christopher Nolan, were against the studio decisions made. Now, however, Dune Part 2 has the potential to be a lot bigger at the global box office, and with it getting a theatrical only run straight from the outset, that creates a much more healthy environment for the film to thrive in. But there are many other reasons why I think Dune Part 2 can do so much better at the box office than the first movie, and I'm going to be diving into exactly that as we get into this video. This essay continues my Road to Dune series, where over the next few months I will be posting video essays and topical uploads on the new Dune movies, the novel, and Denis Villeneuve's previous work. Before I get into it though, if you want to keep up to date on any of my upcoming content surrounding Dune Part 2 and beyond, then don't forget to support this upload by giving it a like rating, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your notifications. But without further ado, let's dive into the potential of Dune Part 2 at the global box office. So it's likely that Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 2 will smash the box office performance of the original film. The upcoming science fiction movie was originally scheduled for November 2023, and while that original release date was to many a much more promising selection because of less competition and a 5-week IMAX run, the new date has also become much more promising since the end of the writers' and actors' strikes. Multiple films that were due to release around Dune Part 2 in March have now moved to dates. There has been more time to ensure that the movie is of a higher quality in its final form, and it has allowed the whole cast to start re-promoting it, a marketing approach that was hugely beneficial to the first movie's success. So while initially the delay could have hurt the film, it appears to have become a benefit for Denis Villeneuve's sci-fi universe. Speaking of the returning cast, Timothée Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Josh Brolin, Zendaya, Javier Bardem, Dave Bautista, and Stellan Skarsgård will be back promoting the second part, and the addition of several new actors such as Florence Pugh, Austin Butler, Léa Seydoux, and Christopher Walken will hopefully help to bolster its box office prospects. With such an extended well-known cast, and there being the expectation of a much more action-packed film this time around, it's expected that this could be the director's biggest film at the box office yet. The original Dune earned just over $400 million at the worldwide box office in 2021, a time where the COVID pandemic caused movie theatres to close and new releases to lose money because they were released on streaming at the same time. Studios hoped that this model would work much better, but in turn it showed them that audiences would rather go to the cinemas and watch promising new content. Dune was an outlier in some sense because while it did make less than it could have done because of its streaming release, it still ended up making money and becoming a long-term success, with many audiences checking it out over different forms of distribution. Since 2021, it's also one of the most successful blockbusters on home entertainment platforms, and that signals that a second film would surely do much better numbers at the box office. It's not just the success of the first film that aids Part 2 though, because another recent success from both Warner Brothers and Timothée Chalamet gives the film another boost. Chalamet starred in the recent Wonka movie by director Paul King, and that film has so far grossed over $500 million worldwide at the box office, disproving the critics who had predicted it to be a flop. It continues to grow and is yet another excellent sign that appeal around Chalamet as a leading man is not slowing down. down. While not every Wonka viewer is a Dune one, the momentum of Chalamet receiving strong reviews in multiple films and continuing his rise at the box office will help in some capacity. And again, it's not just Chalamet, because the whole cast of Dune Part 2 will be able to bring attention to the sequel through late night interviews, new footage from the film, and an extended marketing campaign. In my opinion, the theatrical only environment is going to be the biggest benefit for Dune Part 2, and with the movie having a global release date and not a staggered approach like it did with Part 1 across Europe, I think it can be much bigger than the first film. So this is where I come to my predictions for Dune Part 2 at the box office, and based on all the things going for it, how much do I think it can really make? Well, we've had a lot of unpredictable results at the box office for recent theatrical event films, and for the most part, it's been leaning towards the positive. Just take Oppenheimer as an example from last year. Christopher Nolan's latest film defied expectations, and instead of making its $400 million projected total, it ended up making $950 million worldwide. Now, of course, it was helped by the whole Barbenheimer phenomenon too, but it was a 3-hour R-rated talkie biopic about the man who made the atomic bomb, and it completely smashed expectations. Dune Part 2 is the first big event film of 2024, and it's coming off the back of a successful first film, an informed cast, and now a theatrical only release model. I think the film will have massive theatrical appeal based on its enhanced cast, its climactic story, and more action sequences compared to that original movie. On top of this, the various formats in which Dune Part 2 will be screened in, such as standard, Dolby, and IMAX, could help repeat ticket sales, a feature that certainly played into the original film's gross and even Oppenheimer's nearly $1 billion worldwide total. Timothée Chalamet's current highest grossing film was Christopher Nolan's 2014 movie Interstellar at $681 million, and right now I think that Dune Part 2 can beat that number and get closer to the numbers attained by something like Matt Reeves' The Batman in 2022. So my current prediction is that worldwide, Dune Part 2 will make anywhere between $700 and $800 million. Now, to hit these numbers, the film will of course have to be a great one, and I think it will need repeat ticket sales through audiences going out and rewatching it in the biggest formats like IMAX. IMAX was hugely beneficial to the first Dune movie, and it was to many big releases last year. Dune Part 2 has been made for biggest effect with that particular format, and if, like expected, it's as visually stunning as Part 1, I'm sure many fans and audience members will check it out multiple times in IMAX. The first Dune got a lot of its revenue through international markets too, and with it now releasing in a much healthier environment, non-COVID, I think it will almost double the first film's total gross. We'll have to see, but I do think that around $750 million is a good target for Dune Part 2, and to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up making more. So now that I've made my box office prediction for Dune Part 2, what could this mean for the future of the franchise, and specifically whether we do get that third film in Dune Messiah? Well, if Dune Part 2 does succeed on this kind of level, then I think a Messiah movie is pretty much on the cards. There has been some new interviews with Denis Villeneuve recently where the filmmaker has said that he's aiming for Dune Messiah to be either his next movie or the one after that. On top of this, a recent production listing and the comments of Jeff Snyder state that the third film may already be greenlit over at Warner Brothers. Snyder said, "I'm already hearing rumblings that Warner Brothers is so bullish on Villeneuve's vision for Dune that Part 3 has already been greenlit with a 2027 release date in mind. WB sees Part 2 as a home run, and internally, I'm hearing the studio is already projecting an opening north of $100 million. That may be optimistic, but given the response to the trailers and marketing, it's not out of the question. Director Denis Villeneuve also confirmed recently that the Dune Messiah script was almost finished and that he might take a break after part 2 to make another film before delving back into the world of Arrakis. This was a reference to his planned Cleopatra film and Rendezvous with Rama adaptations too. So with Dune Messiah looking highly likely, my guess would be that this would come after his next film and that it would release somewhere between 2027 and 2028. That potential date would allow for the 12-year time skip in the story and actors to age up a bit before we get to the end of the filmmaker's trilogy. Yes, you could say that this is a long gap, and if Dune 2 does well, then you'd think a third movie would want to capitalize on that potential success. But Denis is all about doing Dune right, and he understands that the audience respects that approach too. Doing it right would mean some time taken between film 2 and film 3, both in terms of the storytelling context and in terms of Denis refueling creatively. If Dune Part 2 is great and performs well at the box office, then I think audiences would want to see a final film from Villeneuve in this saga and would turn up even if it meant waiting an extra year or two. Quality is the biggest factor when it comes to the box office of Dune, and with Part 2 coming off the back of an already great film, the future definitely looks bright for the whole franchise if they can keep that quality of filmmaking high. But that was my video discussing Dune Part 2's potential box office performance. Denis Villeneuve's film will be much more action-packed than the original. Timothée Chalamet is coming off the back of multiple box office successes, including Wonka. The extended cast, including the new additions, give the project an even bigger boost, and of course, the theatrical-only environment will help the movie to hit much bigger numbers this time around. Everything is pointing towards Dune Part 2 being one of the biggest blockbuster epics of 2024, and like I said previously, I think it has the chance of hitting that $700 million range if the film is good and the week-by-week performance reflects that. If it does succeed, then that potential Dune Messiah film will definitely be on the cards in the years to come, and the whole future of the Dune universe, both on the big screen and the small screen, will look really bright. We'll have to see, but I think all of the elements that I've discussed can aid Dune Part 2 in becoming a highly successful film at the worldwide box office. But let me know down below in the comment section what your predictions are for the Dune Part 2 box office performance and what amount you think it can reach during its time in theatres. For much more videos and news on Denis Villeneuve's Dune universe, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.